All INFPs are not the same, as much as you would like them to be. You are all different in amazing ways. So you found out that you are an INFP, and you went online, perhaps on Facebook, to look for an INFP group that you could be a part of. But you discovered that unlike other types, INFPs differed from each other in interesting ways. What gives? Welcome to Revive Coaching. If this content is helping you, then why not drop a like and subscribe? A big welcome to my new subscribers. I appreciate it. I had a bad experience in an INFP Facebook group recently. It was of my own making in part, but it was a classic example of something interesting about us INFPs. So here is what happened. In this group, a post was put up asking if INFPs could lean a certain way politically. I personally lean slightly the way they suggested, and someone in the group called that group of people obscene, or something like that. I snapped back, and since the majority of the group leaned the other way, it was a pile-on. It was even said of me that I am a glorified life coach with only 8 subscribers and a lot of weird videos. Boy, my introverted sensing loved that. Yes, it was ugly, unnecessary, and mean. I do regret snapping back in the first place, but it did reveal something very interesting about INFPs. Well, 2 things actually, but I will talk about the second thing in another video. What is amazing about INFPs is that we are possibly the most value-driven type in the MBTI. We have strong beliefs and opinions, and we are driven by those. And when we are faced with something that doesn't align with our values, we can come across as downright mean. If you are an INFP and you have spent time posting online, it's more than likely that you have butted heads with other people and retreated to nurse a bruised ego. Or was that only me? Here is the thing though. Values can be like fingerprints. We all have our own unique sets. You can have 2 INFPs in a room who will passionately disagree on everything. Not only that, but INFPs will ghost people for such things and ice them out of their lives. We take our politics and ideologies very seriously, and that makes being in an online group with so many INFPs difficult. It probably would be better to be in a group that has a balance of ESTJs and INFPs, so we can be reminded to chill out and not take things so seriously. When I discovered that I am an INFP, I went online to look for Facebook groups I could be a part of. But because of differing values, I didn't feel any real sense of belonging. You see, because we are so value-driven, we will say that a thing is absolutely good or bad, and it will be very hard to budge us from that. Other types might say that perhaps things aren't as good or bad as they seem. INFPs are not really good for each other. We will usually end up either supporting each other in our ideas with no real room for change, or we will intensely dislike the other person and just not talk to them. Then one day we mature and we understand for the first time that we feel so strongly about things because of our values. This is neither right or wrong. It's subjective. You see, the choice is between this is how I feel and this is what I believe and I am absolutely right and you are absolutely wrong, and how I feel and what I believe are just my values, and my values are different to yours. We can either slug it out with no one winning, or we can just celebrate the fact that we are passionate and look for common ground between us. Look, we shouldn't tolerate hate. People need to be called out for that. But most people aren't hateful. With awareness, we INFPs can recognize when our values are driving us to respond in a certain way and choose to use our passion to do something more helpful instead. Instead of just calling other people wrong, we can find out why they think that way and allow them to follow their own values. We have the potential to be the most loving of all the types if we can only get out of our own way. I should not have snapped back at that fellow INFP on Facebook. It was an opportunity to build a bridge, but I burnt it instead, INFP style. We live and hopefully learn. That's all I have for now. Remember to feel those feelings and don't get lost in your head. See you all in the next one.